I mentioned in the last clip something I was going to get back to about the nutritional content of juices versus smoothies, so I just wanted to elaborate on that now. For anyone who's juiced before, they may have noticed the sheer amount of vegetable matter or fruit matter that they've actually gone through to create a small amount of juice, and that's actually a really good thing. When you're juicing, you're extracting all of those nutrients, or as much of them as you possibly can, through the water content of that food. So you're getting all the nutrients, all the minerals, the vitamins, phytochemicals, enzymes, and a whole host of other things that haven't been discovered yet. So what you've got in one glass of juice, if you've juiced like 2 whole heads of broccoli, 2 or 3 bags of kale and say 10 carrots, and it's given you just over maybe a glass of juice, you've actually got one huge superfood there. So that's really, really good. You've got all those nutrients from all of that food ready to go through into your stomach, passes very quickly through into your gut, ready for absorption. Now smoothies, on the other matter, you've still got all that fibre there. So if you can imagine a jug of blended food known as your smoothie, being similar to your evening meal, there's only so much that you can actually physically eat. And so while smoothies are really, really good because they do obviously have a mix of foods and everything which are pre-broken up, ready to be digested and absorbed, you can still only consume that amount of food. You couldn't sit down to 4 or 5 jugs worth of smoothie because you just couldn't fit it in. Juices, on the other hand, you can get a huge amount of food in a small cup and drink it minus all that fibre. So that's a really good thing to remember. Nutrient content wise, juices over smoothies wins hands down every time. Something else I wanted to talk to you about as well. With smoothies, there's a little problem you need to be aware of, because when you're creating those smoothies, because of all that fibre, it can tend to be quite bitter. So what a lot of people do is they go a little bit overboard in the amount of fruit that they're putting in there to sweeten it up to make it palatable. Now when you're juicing, on the other hand, even the blandest of vegetables, like a whole bag of kale, can actually taste quite sweet because of course it's minus that fibre. So the amount of fruit that you need to add to it can be none at all, to even just 1 apple, just to sweeten it a little bit to be able to get it down the hatch. So just bear that in mind too. Fruits, of course, really good nutrient-wise. There's a lot of good nutrients in that, but it also comes with a large amount of sugar, which some people need to be really careful of, especially if they're consuming other foods during the day too. During a juice fast, then it's not too much of a problem. You just really need to stick more to the vegetable side of things if you can, and fruit to taste. Another little problem that you have with smoothies is you get fermentation going and a bit of nutrient loss as well from the get-go. When you're juicing, you're pressing the nutrients out. Their exposure to oxygen is very little, so you get very little degradation of nutrients because they're not getting oxidized. When you're blending, of course, you can imagine when they're spinning around really, really quickly, they're getting introduced to all the other nutrient particles from different sort of foods. And they're also getting mixed up with air, so your oxidative damage is higher in smoothies. And of course you've got a fermentation which starts straight away as well. So that's just one thing to watch out with the smoothies versus the juices. Remember, when you're juicing, try and consume your juices within the first couple of hours of pressing them, because you do get nutrient loss because they're now out of the safe haven that they had as being an apple or the leaf of a plant. So when you're juicing and you're going to take it to work the next day, just get up a little bit early in the morning, try not to juice them in the evening and sit them in the fridge, although the fridge will keep them obviously from degrading too much. You really want to keep them as fresh as possible so you get that real nutrient punch from the get-go. Talk to you later in the new clip. Any questions anyone has too, just email us on our website www.cravevitality.co.nz and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. Or you can Facebook us, look us up. Catch you later.